So as I'm sure most of you know, the Jurassic World Rebirth trailer just came out a few days ago. We reacted to it already, but I wanted to see some other people's opinions and some breakdown videos of it. So today, we have the Jurassic World Rebirth trailer breakdown by my boy Dangerville. So shout out to them, man. I'm excited to get in here. Let me know in the comments, how excited are you for the new Jurassic World Rebirth movie?
It's
in July, bro. I'm so hyped.
Jurassic World Rebirth
I think it's July 2nd.
Finally dropped, and my God, guys,
we got Black
it
Widow.
looks
We got
insane.
Blade.
I'm legit
We got
shaking.
hybrid dinos.
It looks like everything I
Come on
dreamed
now.
a new Jurassic film would be, and
Facts.
they didn't skimp out on this trailer either. It is jam-packed with new information, and there's a lot
It's
to
so
get
sick,
through.
dude.
So we're gonna break down everything.
What is your favorite
including
part of the
details you
trailer?
might have missed.
Let me know in the
and
comments.
Believe me, there is a ton of details. So
Okay, bet.
let's
I
not
didn't
waste
see
any
all the
more
details.
time.
I tried.
Let's get to it.
Yeah, I know I be trying over here, bro, but these
The
people
trailer
actually
starts out in
dive
New
into
York
it.
as they're
I like it.
dismantling an exhibition of Jurassic Park,
Yep.
featuring the iconic T-Rex herself. Now, some people have speculated that this
That's
is
what
a
I thought it
now
was.
dead Rexy from the originals, but I'm pretty sure they wouldn't disrespect her like that. Rupert Friend's character, Martin
I'd like to
Krebs,
think so.
introduces Dr. Henry Loomis, played by Jonathan Bailey, to Scarlett Johansson's character, Zora Bennett.
Zora,
skilled
what a
covert
name, dude. Of
operations
course, that fits
expert
Scarlett.
sent on a
That's a nice
highly
name.
dangerous mission
Zora?
to collect the DNA from 3 different giant dinosaurs in order to make a breakthrough cure to a deadly disease.
I feel like that's not what they're going to do. They're going to get it and make something crazy.
Before Zora looks up at something, and it's the tail of some massive creature.
What was
creature,
that
you might
dinosaur?
ask? Well, none other than Titanosaurus.
Oh, that's what it was.
I'm not doing
Okay.
the Godzilla
I didn't know
gag
the
again.
name.
And these look incredible.
They did look really
Just
good.
look at how long their tails are. They just look beautiful. And the CGI here just looks super clean. And it's unfinished
agree
as well,
so
and
far.
it still looks this good. And in the next shot, we get this super atmospheric look at the island covered in thick fog. And flying through it, what looks to be our first
Ooh,
look
so
at
sick,
the
man.
Rebirth Quetzalcoatl.
Guys, if you haven't yet, scroll down for me, hit that subscribe button.
This is the moment it reminded
And
me
like I
of
said,
Peter Jackson's King
let me know
Kong.
how excited
It
you are
just
for the
looks
movie.
so good. Next up, we get a look at what's likely Costa Rica, where the team have been sent to find someone that can get them in and out of the island.
That's gonna be my boy
with
Blade.
Their man being Mahershala Ali's character, Duncan Kincaid, a smuggler responsible for getting things and people through places they shouldn't be, as stated by Zora Bennett. Also, if you look closely here, you'll see the crew sitting under that megalodon jaw that we saw in some
I didn't notice that.
images.
I didn't notice
this looks
that
like
one.
a chill.
They just look like a
I wanna
tree to
go
me.
here. And the visuals here just look so good. I remember people being
It does
worried
look
that the
really
film
good.
would look grey based on those original promo materials. But look at this, there is so much color.
Yeah, it's so-
and
it
none
looks
of that
so good.
ugly blue tint from the World films. When we're introduced to Duncan, he seems to be playing poker, so I like this guy already. Bro not only gambles with his money, but also
I don't
his
play
life,
poker, bro.
as
I'm
you'll
not a
see
very good
later
poker
on in the
player.
trailer. Next up, we see them setting off on their adventure.
I don't
and
think I've
our
ever played.
first hint that Edwards is taking inspiration
So maybe I'm
from
great.
Spielberg's other monster movie, Jaws. We'll see even more of this ocean horror later on in the trailer. Next up,
Yes,
we
we
get this
will.
gorgeous shot that feels like it came straight out of the creator. And in the environment, we can see what looks to be some
It's a
man-made
weird-looking road.
structures. At first, I
For
thought
some
this was a long
structures.
building or some kind of metro system to take staff around the island.
It looked like a
But
road
in the
to me.
next shot, it seems to be an old fence system.
okay,
What
so
looks
that's
to
what it
be
was. Got it.
abandoned mining equipment in the background. Now, this could obviously
Why would they
be
have
used for
10,000
mining
volts
resources
for mining
but what's
equipment?
also
So they can't be
possible
stolen?
is they're digging underground, which may be where their facilities are located. More on that later. And Duncan says, no one's dumb enough to go where we're going, which
As they
implies
bring a
this
whole
is
family.
probably his most dangerous mission
Maybe they're
yet.
saving the
Please
family.
don't die, King. Next up, we see what is most definitely cannon fodder for the dinosaurs as they're preparing their weapons. And I can already see the countdown to their deaths in the corner of the screen.
Oh, no.
And we get this stunning, very Skull Island view of the island.
It does look
And
like Skull
not
Island.
gonna lie, it looks kind of small, which is surprising. Maybe it's just the angle. And we hear Zora
It probably
giving
goes
us a
over to the
huge
right.
revelation. This island was the research facility for the original Jurassic Park. No, this isn't Isla Sorna. This is something entirely new.
The
meaning
OG?
All these creatures in the lab are unfinished specimens, which will become a pretty huge plot later.
Oh, we saw that
in the
alien.
Container,
He
which
looked
looks
sort
to
of
be
unfinished.
in amazing polished
And this
condition,
thing.
despite being 32 years old.
That's facts.
Looks to house a raptor, with this specific one being the tiger raptor from the Lost World.
That's kinda
At least that's
crazy.
what I believe, which I'm so happy to see again, even in this condition. But if you look closely, you'll
tiger
see this
raptor with
thing
2
has
heads.
a second head, which is a mutation known as polycephaly, showcasing just how many times they had to experiment in order to get the raptors right.
See,
And
why would they
Loomis
do
also
that?
gets
Just
a
stop
look
it
at
there.
an embryo,
Stop it.
which just looks super creepy.
That
I
does
can't
look
even
weird.
tell what kind of animal
Looks
this
like a
thing's
shrimp.
meant to be. Let me know in the comments what you think
It's a
it
big
is.
shrimp.
The team prepare their gear to collect the sample from the first animal on the list, Quetzalcoatlus, and they're in a race against time to try and get the sample from the egg
Called him an
before the
F-16.
mother comes home.
It's like, yeah, we
Krebs
can do
doesn't
that.
fully understand why they need to get it from an egg, and Loomis reminds him that this thing is a flying carnivore the size of an F-16.
Yeah, there
and
you
he's
go.
like, yeah, fair enough. And
Oh,
we
fair
get this
enough.
pretty sweet scene of them
Indiana
abseiling down the
Jones.
cliff in order to reach the nest. And in the back, we get some waterfalls, which really reminds me of the scenery from the helicopter pad in the original Jurassic Park. Of course, it wouldn't be Jurassic without something going wrong, and the angry
there's a
mom
lot of
returns
really
to her nest
small
and
things
starts
that-
attacking the team.
Unless
And
you
yes,
studied it, you wouldn't
it
have
is
noticed, really.
visually quite substantially smaller than the one we got in Dominion.
Yeah, he's
I really
definitely
liked
smaller.
that design, even if it was a bit
That
too
was a big fella.
But I also like this one just as much, just in a different way.
Doesn't
I
look
really
good.
love the coloration and the quills we can see reflecting on the sunlight. Loomis turns around to the camera and says, "Holy before getting flung out of the cave. I couldn't figure out how exactly this happened, but I'm
Yeah, that's
pretty
kinda
sure
crazy.
that the
Where did he
Quetz got
go?
tangled in the rope and tried to flee the scene to safety.
Ooh.
But by doing that, also dragged Loomis out.
I didn't
which
even-
looks
I
like
thought
a
they
pretty
saved him.
tense scene as Zora tries to cling
Okay,
onto
well,
the rope.
yeah, okay.
We hear Loomis
That
saying
makes more
that the
sense.
dinosaurs were simply too dangerous for the original park. The worst of the worst were left here. The dinosaurs that went on a rampage in the Jurassic Park series are what InGen got right. Imagine the horrors of all the subjects that they got wrong.
I don't
And
want to.
before they
We're
show
gonna
us
see it.
probably the highlight and the biggest controversy
Look how
regarding
scared
the trailer,
Zora
they show us the
looks right
instantly
here.
recognizable claws of a velociraptor.
Okay, so it is a
stalking
raptor.
them through a familiar setting,
That's what I thought.
which could be a kitchen, but maybe that's too on the nose. But then we're introduced to this monstrosity.
That's
as
what I'm
this
talking about right
massive
there.
hand
What
comes
is
into
that?
the frame
That's a
through the
hoof.
fog. And this is where the real
Look at his
terror
hand,
rears its
dude.
head. Because up to this point, it's been a surprisingly
I didn't even notice the
light-hearted trailer,
fingers there.
But then this mutant comes in and turns the film on its head.
Oh
Get
my-
a good look at the Jurassic World Rebirth mutant, the result of failed experimentation when trying to
It's gonna
make
be
a
so crazy.
T-Rex. And this thing is massive. I'm glad Gareth has still got what it takes to make things feel properly massive. His sense of scale is simply unmatched. We'll have a longer video
That
diving
is
into
huge.
what exactly this thing is.
We've only
So
seen a couple
subscribe
angles
and
of
chomp
them,
the notification
and not
button
really a
to
couple
keep
angles.
up to date with everything
only been
on
like the
Dangerville.
front of them,
And
both
hit that
times.
like button while you're at it. Let's spread this breakdown as far as we can.
We
But
saw
this
that,
thing
and we
just
saw
looks
them in that cage.
crazy. Some in the
Or in
comments
that
have
tube,
hated
whatever.
it, but I personally love it.
Why you
it's not
hating?
just
Don't
another
hate.
theropod.
Just enjoy
this
the
is
movie, man.
entirely new, and
I
it's
think
going
it's-
to give the parents nightmares.
I think it's unique.
And this
That's
seems
for
to
sure.
be the same scene where Duncan Kincaid is going to risk his life, which I really hope is not where he dies. Come on, man, you can make it. But I mean, he's probably gonna die.
He's Blade,
Next up,
though.
we get
You
a
know
look
what I'm
at the
saying? He ain't
new
dying.
Jurassic Park car, and if it's a bit too blurry, here's a better look at it.
Ooh.
This thing is gorgeous, but doesn't really look like something that came from the
That
early
is sick.
1990s. If anything, this looks like a warthog from Halo.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of futuristic, so I'm curious to see how they explain this. Next up, we get some very alien reminiscent
That's sick.
shots in these dark, damp corridors, which I believe are InGen's facilities hidden deep underground. Remember the mining equipment that may have been used to build this secret facility
Makes sense.
to keep it out of sight from surveillance. And we get this
And out of
shot
touch from the
Zora
big
crouch
fellas.
walking through what looks to be some sewer systems. and she's firing at something coming straight at her. Based on the
I'm
earlier
sorry,
shots,
Scarlet, it
I'm
wasn't
willing
me.
to bet that these are
Dang.
velociraptors, or maybe even another smaller mutant. Next up, we get something that we've wanted
I'm trying
for
to see
a
multiple
long
mutants.
time. After Dominion's
The Dillo.
disappointing inclusion of Dilophosaurus, where we had this scene, people were only
that one
left
was-
wanting more. So I'm glad to see that we're
That was
going to
not
get
it.
the
There we go.
spitting lizard back at it again.
That looks
in
better.
this scene where it faces off against Luna Blaze's character, who looks like she's been for a dunk in the river. The Dilo looks to be using the Dominion design, but it still looks super cool. And in broad daylight, which I think is a first for the films.
That looks
Next
sick.
up, we see why Blaze's character is soaking wet with this stunning shot of the
Oh,
T-Rex that's just spotted her in its territory while it's trying to have a nap. Why did you wake him up? That's so rude.
That is
and
rude.
It doesn't seem too pleased with her because it roars and proceeds to chase her down the river. A scene taken right out of the Jurassic Park novel.
Love that.
And it looks like she'll be separated from what I believe is her brother, played by David Iacono, who in this frame
The
is
trailer
wearing this
actually
red
gave us a
t-shirt.
lot. Normally
And I
trailers
just
don't
need to
give a
point
lot,
this out,
which
that even
I do
though
prefer.
the CGI is unfinished,
But for reaction
there's
purposes,
almost half a year to
reaction
go until
purposes,
release.
I like this.
But this already looks insane.
I don't like when trailers
this looks
give
like
everything
I can
away.
actually touch it. There's just so much detail on that skin. It's incredible.
Does look
That's
really good.
on top of this probably being the best the Rex has looked since The Lost World. It might even be the best. I love the colored stripes on it. There's way more variety to the dinosaurs here. No more gray with the same dull skin color. Each looks really unique. I don't know, man. I'm so happy about it.
I am
is it
happy
just
too,
me?
man. I'm
Is
happy.
it just me?
It ain't
Next
just
up, we
you,
get
brother.
another look at our freak inside
There he
InGen's
is.
lab. And one of the staff
Now
has
you can
been
see the
trapped
arms
inside the
on the
enclosure of
stomach?
this monstrosity with the beast itself. Yep, that guy's dead.
So I'm
And these
wondering
people
who
seem
the
to be
person right
completely
there
in
is.
gear, and the lab is
Because they don't look like they're
intact.
freaking out.
So I'm willing to bet this is the opening of the film, and it's a flashback that shows the breakdown of the facility, similar to
That makes
Jurassic
sense.
Park's opening with the raptor eating one of the crew. Next up, we get the tagline, "Survival is a long shot," which is just a killer quote. But the piece de resistance, we get the scene with the Spinosaurus, and there's not just one. Oh no, they're making up for the lack of it in the past 3 films
Let's go.
by giving us 3 whole Spinosaurus, and they have a whole new, more realistic design.
And they have
now,
a mosa
this
that
shot
I
was
thought
revealed in
the back
promotional
was a
material yesterday,
megalodon, but
and Jacob
one of you
was
out there
hard
told
at
me the
work
tail.
analyzing this
It was just the
until
tail.
Universe went and released the trailer
Which after I
early,
saw it,
but
makes
we
sense.
were all asking the question, why the Spinosaurus together with the Mosasaurus? But we now have an explanation as to why the Mosasaurus seems so chilled with these Spinos. It's a symbiotic relationship where they help defend territory and hunt for food, so that both animals
Solid.
end
See,
up with
that
something
totally
to
looks
eat,
like a Meg in
which
the
is
back,
a
but it's
really
not.
interesting concept for
I don't
Jurassic,
think.
considering all the dinosaurs in
Just
the
the
world
tail.
films seem to just want to eat each other all the time. So this is a nice change of pace and something that's surprisingly realistic. And we get a good look at that new Spinosaurus design, and at first glance, I'm not a massive fan, to be honest.
I think
The
it looks
neck is
good.
really stumpy, and the face kinda has the worst traits
I'm
from Fallen
biased.
Kingdom's
I just
Baryonyx.
I like
But
dinosaurs.
It is
I like
more
this stuff.
realistic than the JP3 design. The skull
And it
is
was
pretty
only a
close
quick
to the
little
real
glimpse.
thing, and they even have a larger claw. So the
Yep.
designers have really done their research here, and I do really like the striped patterns on its sails. So maybe it'll grow on me. And Zora,
I
like
like
a
it.
badass in a scene that kind of seems reminiscent of Jaws, seems to be using a hunting rifle and sniping the Spinos off the side of the boat. But I don't think that'll be enough for the Mosasaurus, who
That's a
leaps up
big
into the
fella.
air and will
Big
probably
fella.
come crashing down and capsizing the boat. And then we get the title card, Jurassic World Rebirth. And
Woo!
man, this has me so hyped.
I'm
The
so
potential
excited,
new
dude.
lore, the secrets that will be uncovered, the combination of sci-fi with the grit and dirt.
Let me
the
know what you guys
atmosphere,
think in the
all
comments.
the dinosaurs, it all just
Is there
looks so
anything
good.
that he missed
If
too?
you asked me when
Let
I
me
was
know.
12 what
Let me
the
know.
perfect
I
Jurassic
wanna know
Park sequel
everything.
would be, this is what I would have shown you. The trailer does reveal maybe a bit too much.
That's what I was saying. It
think they should
reveals
have
a
kept the
little
mutant
too
a
much.
secret,
But for reaction
but clearly
purposes,
it has a big role in the
I
film.
like it.
So obviously they wanted to reveal it themselves before, I don't know, the toys did or something.
Right.
If I had any
Godzilla.
criticisms, it's probably that some of the humor just doesn't land. which does stand out because so much of this trailer just looks so good. I guess it's to balance out the darker tone, but the quips just take me out a little. But it doesn't ruin it for me, not even close.
Yeah,
the film
it doesn't
releases
do it.
July 2nd,
I didn't notice that.
and we have a lot to
hyped.
cover. So subscribe and chomp the notification
Hit that subscribe button.
to
We're
keep
going to be
up to date with
covering everything as
Jurassic
it comes
related.
out. For right now, though, we have to wait. I don't think there's any new Jurassic World videos. If there are, let me know them in the comments. We'll react to them. But for right now, we wait for the movie, man. Thank you guys for watching with me. I will see you tomorrow. I love ya. Goodbye.